What is up, Keller Williams agents? It is me, Sam Jackson, the Director of Innovation Technology for the amazing, say it with me, Georgia Legacy Group. And today I'm excited to share with all of you the new Command newsletter, email campaigns. Super excited about these. This was something that launched at MegaCamp. I've been a little bit of a slacker getting the video out to all of you. Hopefully you've seen some great content from other amazing tech coaches and trainers like Jay Cermak and Zach Younger and Nick Baldwin. Take a look at all those guys. Amazing, amazing leaders on the technology side. Tons of really good content out there. But I'm going to show you the new look into the new email campaigns that we have inside of Command. So this is going to seem kind of funny. So we're going to be inside of two separate tools inside of Command. We're going to first go into designs and we're going to create this beautiful email. And then we're going to go into email campaigns and underneath the campaigns tool. And then we're going to send it through that vehicle. So we're going to use two separate tools to create this today. And the good news is, although that sounds like it's a lot, it's actually super, super easy and is incredibly easy now that we have some cool features inside of Command. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is go to Designs, which if you're not familiar is this easel with the paintbrush looking thing. So I'm going to click on Designs. We're going to go here. I'm going to move myself out of the way. Actually, I'm going to make myself smaller, get myself out of the way. Here we go. And you can see I played around with this a little bit already, but to get started, you're just going to click the plus sign down here in the bottom right. So just anytime we're doing a design, we're going to click on the plus sign down here in the bottom right. And now we're going to click on email. So I'm going to click on email here. And while this is loading, before we go too far, I just want to share with you, this is a great how-to video. So if at any moment, I know I talk really fast, if I get ahead of you, feel free to just hit pause and then walk along with me as I do this. It's a great thing of using video as a learning resource. Just pause me, do what you need to do on your screen, and then come back to me. So if you get stuck, we're there. But take a look at this. This is a really cool thing. So if you were an early adopter to KW email, we only had 2 or 3 different templates in here. We now have a ton. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't explored all of them yet, but we have 23 new templates inside of Command for the agents. So you can see these ones that we've had with like Work With Me, Buyer and Seller, Home Anniversary, Happy Birthday. These 5 right here we've had, but you'll see now that we have a ton of other different features in here. And for me, I'm just going to grab, let's do the classic open house one here, but just know that these are templates. So that means that this gives me an outline, and then all I have to do is change the information out. Now don't get hung up on the fact that this one is called classic open house. It could be used for other things. So just keep that on top of your mind that it could be called one thing. That doesn't mean that you have to completely fit yourself inside that box. You can use it for several other things. So let's just go ahead and use the classic open house and get a feel for this one right here. And I'm also going to show you as well how to create your own template, which I'm going to do with my own. Cool. And you can see it will pull in some information here. So this is already queued up to be an open house. So it's teed up with the information here. If you need to edit this, you just kind of double click on it. And then I can swap out the word open house for, I don't know, maybe I'll turn this into a just listed. Oops, I broke it. But let me put a text box in. Change this to just listed. I'll make that center. Again, these are like normal functions that you use with like Microsoft Word. Hopefully you got that there, but just listed. I can change the address. You guys understand how this works. You do is just click the edit button, swap out the text for 123 street name, change that here to 456 Walnut. And then here's the key thing that I've learned playing around with these. You don't have to hit the save and exit button or the save button when you're editing this, but go ahead and click the done button to make your changes occur. So when I hit done, what you see on the left side where I have 1234 street name, this will be changed to 145 Walnut. So watch how that works. So now that got adjusted right there. So if you're editing text, you click on the text box, you hit edit, and then you can make your adjustments. So I'll just make this Dallas, Texas. When I hit the done button, you'll then see my preview on the left change from Austin to Dallas. So that's a little bit of a hack, or not a hack, but a tip that I've learned first playing around with these. That done button does a lot more than just done, which is pretty cool. And then because this is a template, you're going to see the ability to add some photos. So if I want to, I can just click on this and upload an image from my computer. To do that, it looks like I can do some alt text, some link, but if I click on the replace button right here, this will allow me to grab some images from either my listing that's into the KWLS, or I can add images directly. It looks like I've played around, so I have Robin Lemon, one of the great assistant team leaders that I work with in my, my library. But otherwise, I can go in here and grab a listing. Let's just do 456 Walnut, and we'll see where this pulls from. I'm assuming that's a real address somewhere. All right, we have one in Philadelphia. I wonder if it's West Philadelphia. But now I can just grab one of these photos here, hit replace, and it's that easy. I didn't even have this photo on my computer, and once I hit done, this is going to auto-replace with some pretty cool stuff. But notice we do have some widgets and some other things over here on the right-hand side. So if you wanted to add more things to it, you would just drag and drop. I can throw in another image kind of anywhere I want to on the screen and play around with that, and you can see kind of the same thing. I can move these images around. Here is one thing I'm going to stress with you, and I would highly recommend when you create one of these, send it to yourself so that you can test this and trust me. But you will notice that some of these previews, some of these image blocks aren't giving you the real preview. They will when they go live. I have noticed that even with the test email that you receive, it does not work. It still gives you this like image placeholder, but when you send it out for real, that image does go in. Now, I know a lot of you, that's going to create a lot of anxiety. I would put yourself on an individual mailing list and set that up just for a test run. Because again, you're going to see the same thing I see here in a preview. Just trust the process. This will work. So where you see, or it says like Market Center name, that would be replaced with your Market Center name and then the logo there as well. Anywhere that you see these placeholders, just kind of trust that that information will go out the way it's expected. And then if you're happy with this, I'm going to just rename this as Test Open House. And I'm going to save this. And it's going to now live inside of my my library or my my template. So whenever I save this, you'll see that I have my Test Open House. This is here for me to pick up and work with moving on. But let me show you another way to do this where you can create it completely from scratch. And this is the approach I'm going to take. I'm going to click the plus sign down here in the bottom right, go to email, hit next. And instead of using one of the pre-made templates, which are dynamite, I'm just going to click on create a new template up here in the top right. And this, if you're familiar with this look, this is no different than landing pages and a few other tools that we've had inside Command for a while. This is a blank canvas over here on the left-hand side. And then over on the right are the 8 widgets that I can work with. So this is super cool that I can just kind of drag and drop that I'm going to do a listing block. I can put that information in. I can hit done, and here, let me hit cancel here. I can use an event block. I can use text. And with each of these, I can edit that information that goes in there. So now if I want to swap out that image, I can do it. But let me just kind of back up with all of these real quick and show you some things. So my recommendation, and this is kind of a hard concept to follow sometimes if you're not used to it, I would recommend building these from the bottom up. And I know that's kind of reverse order in the way we think. I know as humans we're programmed to think, you know, left to right, top to bottom, the way we read books. I'm going to encourage you, it's going to be easier, I think, that if you plan ahead and you figure out what it is you're going to create inside your newsletter, build this from the bottom up. And the reason why I recommend that is, let's just say that I put in a legal header, a text block, and then let's just say an image. This is really simple. We're just going to put Robin in here for all intents and purposes, and then a legal footer at the bottom. Notice where my green bar is going. As I add more of these widgets, my green bar keeps getting lower and lower. And this gets really, really tricky that if I want to keep adding things, I have to play, you know, where's the magic green bar going? And this can get really, really hard if you have a lot of content, which I imagine you're going to put at least, you know, a handful of these widgets inside of here. So my recommendation would be, instead of playing that game of where's the magic green bar in order to get your placement right, what I would recommend doing, let me go back all the way to the beginning here, let me get a clean slate, is build from the bottom up. In theory, you should know what it is you're looking for when you're creating your newsletter. You should have a plan in place. I wouldn't come in here just with a completely blank mind. I would probably start from the bottom up. So we know at the bottom of every email, you have your legal footer. Then maybe you have some buttons. So my buttons would go above this. And it's so much easier just to drag my widget to the top of here and watch everything fall underneath of it. I may have another button that goes above that. And for me, these may be my call to actions. This would be like my social media link. So just since you guys haven't seen this widget yet, you just click on the button itself, hit the pencil icon. I can call this Facebook, link to, and then I would choose a web address, HTTP, and I would put in my Facebook page, facebook.com/in command with Sam. And then if you were really looking forward to make some custom things here, we have some defaults that you can change, like the size of the button itself. You can make this larger or smaller. Font family, you can change all that around. What would be really cool is if in a new window, you can actually search for Facebook's color code. And I can make this Facebook blue. So I'm looking for this 3B shade. Go back into my command. And when I dump that into the hex color code, watch my black bar change to blue. So now this is that Facebook blue that we have here. And when I hit done, oh, button must have, all right, so I must have got my link wrong. I would recommend copying and paste that instead of doing what I did. Oops, :// that's the problem. There we go. Now when I hit done, now I have this Facebook blue with a Facebook button, which is pretty cool. So that's a really cool way to customize that in the future. All right, so going back to that, so I've done some buttons, I've done my legal footer. Now I'm gonna grab my meat and potatoes, so that would probably be a text block. Again, it's gonna be easier to drag this up above, an image. I think you guys get the hang of what I'm doing here. And let me just leave that one blank for now. And then up above, I would do a legal header. So this would pull in all of my contact information that would keep me compliant with local MLS rules, making sure that my name is in there, my brokerage information is in there, and I'm identifying as a real estate agent. But this is really cool that you can build these out, put some cool images in here. Let me just grab something random inside my computer really quickly. But play around with this. I would definitely recommend play around with this a little bit before you send this out real time. Just get a couple like test images and some test things to do. Maybe an article that you'd like to share. And here we go. I'll just use a meme that I have from an older video. And select it, hit replace. All right, I now have my meme in here. I have to hit done to make that happen. And that was really small, so maybe I want to edit that. Let me see if I can hit the edit button and make it larger. The original, that's the original there. Crop looks good. Hit save. I think now when I hit my done button, that should get larger. Okay. All right, not sure what my struggle is there. I'll figure that out another time. But again, I didn't plan ahead with this, with what I was going to put in here. I just want to show some test things. But you definitely want to play with that, make sure it's right, make sure that everything is the way you expect when you look at it. Let me see if I can make it larger. Oh, here we go. This is where I want to make it larger. 1,000 by 1,000. Too large. Let me try 500 by 500. All right, position, center, there we go. Let me try that. Oh yeah, there we go. So you can play around with the sizing features right there inside the edit button. That's good to know. I'm learning too, guys. It's pretty exciting stuff. And then I can do some text in here. So this would be where you click the edit button and write some text. So if I were sending a newsletter out to my database about, this funny meme, I could say, hey, thought this was funny. And hit done there. You can probably make this like gigantic text, play around with the font if you want. Roboto, jack it up to 30, hit done. And this, again, this is a very quick example of what we're doing here today. opportunities are limitless, what you can create inside these campaigns. But this would be something that I would maybe jokingly send to like my friends list or my family list, depending on how you've segmented your database. But you could get away with something like this and actually send it out to your folks. Could be kind of fun. And as we kind of throw this term around a lot in the GLG, get weird. Get weird. If you know your audience, get weird. They love and respect you, so there's no shame or fear there. But let's just say I'm done with this. And again, play around with these widgets. There's a lot of cool things you guys are going to see me explore with the video one here in a little bit. But the video works the same way. Essentially, you just kind of click on it and edit. And instead of uploading a video, you have to go get a URL. So this is really great if you're hosting it on like a YouTube or a Vimeo. You just grab that link and paste it in here. Cool. And then let me just hit done. Oops, let me get rid of that because I don't have a video queued up. But now just let me name this test. Trash. I'm going to throw this one away. No offense, guys and gals. Hit save. We're good to go. So now when I save and exit, I now have a design that is ready to go. And I'm done with the design piece. So the second half of this is once I've designed it, I can now go into the campaign side of Command. And I'm going to send this to a distribution list. So I'm going to open up campaigns, which is the megaphone icon. You probably can't see it because my recording menu is there. But I'm going to click on campaigns. Click leave site. And this is really, really easy if you have already tagged your database. Otherwise, you're going to have to create a little bit of a manual list, but I think it's a lot easier if you have some preset tags. But let me show you how to do this. So in campaigns, this is like your normal landing page, your dashboard for campaigns. I'm going to go to the top right and click create a new campaign. And this time I'm going to choose email. I'm going to select the email button right here. I'm going to name it. So this is test trash. Now, we have a couple different options here for your goal. It doesn't really matter with the email, at least not yet. We're using the same interface for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter ads as we are for using the others. So that's why you have this. It's a lot easier to have this menu, but just know that right now this isn't doing a whole lot. So I'm just going to click other, and I'm going to use command email because every Keller Williams Agents has, I think, 15 or 5,000 emails a month for free. And you can opt to buy more if you need it, but I think you have 5,000 monthly for free. So I'm going to set up campaign. And this is going to take me to the process of actually sending out the email. So this is sending it all up. So again, top to bottom, just like every other campaign we've ever sent, you're going to work from the top, make your way down, don't skip a step. So step one is what we already did. We're going to send command email. I've named my campaign. Email account, this is grayed out, this is already selected. This is my email that's attached to command mail, that's underneath settings. Step three, recipients list. Who are we going to send it to? So I've got some pre-made lists. You can see that I've already created these. So these save. Every time you create them, they save. But if I need to create a new list, all I can do is click the create list button over here on the right. And I can name it. So I'm going to call this trash test just for today. Underneath contacts, I can search for individual contacts. So I can come in here and search for Robin Lemon, who was featured in my photos earlier. And she'll come up from my database, so I can send this to her. So I can select her individually. You can come through and cherry pick your database if you want to. You can go through and grab each person and grab her husband, Scott. And add him to my distribution list. So that's my list. Those two would be there. Another way you can do this is I can go to the tags button right here. And one of the things I want to share with you, because I've seen a couple of agents get tripped up on this, what you have inside this box does not matter when I click on this tags button. This is not a search field. This is just kind of alphabetical. So for your tags, you just want to kind of sort through here, and I would find from my list my group. What I'd recommend is probably have like a subscriber list or a newsletter list, something that you know that you can work with, that you can just grab from here. So if I wanted to send an email and create a list just to my entire executive leadership team, all the great leaders that I work with, that I don't have tagged in my database, bad example. A lot of my stuff is for training purposes. Let me get one I do have. Let me grab all of my family. Here we go. I'll just grab my family and send them on here. So if you guys want to, you can call my mom and tell her how great of a job I'm doing if you see her information. Kidding. But I'm going to grab my family tag, And then whenever I click in the white space, I'll see that disappear, and I can select all of my my 2 siblings, and my whole family's in here. Cool. So I can grab all my family members, all 7 contacts that are associated with that tag, and then also Scott and Robin, who are on here as well. I just click confirm, and now I have an email list called Trash List that I can use anytime. Right now it's going to be preloaded, but I can use this any future email. So I would start thinking of, okay, if I'm going to have a newsletter email list, distribution list, who goes on that, and just have a working tally and putting people in there. And then you can come back to it anytime you need to. All right, let me move myself out of the way. Step number 4, once you're done with your email list, step number 4 is just confirming the send and reply to link. So this is set up in command email. So again, that's under your settings if this isn't set up yet. And then lastly is we're going to draft up our email itself. So subject would be anyone looking to buy a house. And that would be the subject, question mark. And then 6 for content, I'm going to click on the select design content from your email. And when I do this, you will see that I can go into KWRI templates. I can click on any of these and draft it. Like I can actually work inside the space if I want to. Or I can go to my templates and I can already use the templates that I've created. So I've done the work ahead of time when I'm on my templates. If you want to do this kind of on the fly, you can go into the templates here and click one of these and build it out on this side of it. I don't really prefer that way. I'm kind of sharing my preference with this. Like a lot of things in Command, there's always more than one way to do it. Personally, I like to go into designs first, create the design itself, then come in here and grab this test trash one. So I'm going to grab that. I have a chance to confirm it. So everything here looks good. Again, trust that this information is going to pull in. So you'll see the Market Center logo. You'll see the agent photo. All of that stuff will fill in. You just have to believe me on that one. But when I click on, can I click on the preview? Yeah, you can click on the preview here to see it. This is going to look like when it goes out the door. All that information will fill in. I have noticed that sometimes even clicking this preview, I still have those boxes where my logo and my photo and my name is. Don't stress about that. I believe it will go out the right way. But all in all, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to get rid of preview mode. I'm going to hit save and exit. I'm going to see one more final screen in which my email is over here on the right. Again, just to confirm, some of the stuff's going to be kind of blank for a little while. Just trust the process. It will fill. And then once I'm happy, if there's nothing else that I needed to tweak, I just hit send, and that goes out the door. Now you can also schedule and send a test email to yourself as well. So I can schedule this for a later date. This would be a great thing that if you have like holiday distributions, or if you are really, really organized, or if you have a team and you all have a 36 touch that involves email, that are these one-offs that aren't part of a smart plan, you could build them in here. So you can start building out your entire campaign for the year just by scheduling these at a later date. It looks like our window is 12 months from now. You can't go any further than 12 months. Here's a really, really valuable lesson too. And I shared this advice from Tim Beverland, who's my MAPS coach, wonderful guy. There is a limit that I can only schedule, I can only edit the 30 minutes or later, or 30 minutes. Let me rephrase this completely. I cannot edit within that 30-minute window of this thing going out. So if this is scheduled to go out at 5 o'clock today and it's 4:30, I'm too late. I would have to do that 31 minutes earlier. It's already kind of primed to go out at that point. So keep an eye on this. I'd probably keep a track. If you're going to schedule a lot of emails in advance, make sure you're ahead of them. And the story I want to share with you is that my MAPS coach, Tim, he had shared that imagine you sent a canned email out to your entire database, and your entire database happened to be the entire Texas Realtor Board of agents, and you had scheduled in January your barbecue cookout extravaganza for the middle of COVID, like June, July, when we're all social distancing and the state was shut down. That happened to one of the brokerages in the area. So you got to make sure that if you are going to schedule these things, you pay attention to them and when they're going out. So keep an eye on these, inspect them quite frequently, just to make sure that you have something that's not like mistiming, like that bad COVID email inviting people to a barbecue that was no longer available, and technically illegal at that point. So just be careful with that stuff. But if you want to schedule it, you can do that in advance, up to 12 months, but you cannot edit within that 30-minute window before it goes out. So December 10th, hit schedule, bada bing, bada boom, that goes out. So now on December 10th, those 7 people that was on my email list, they'll get this. And you can see that it's scheduled here. And if I want to cancel it, I can just come in here and cancel the campaign. So sorry for my family and the 2 friends that I have. You guys aren't going to get that email if you're watching. I'm going to cancel that ahead of time, but you can always just delete it and be good to go from there. Again, if you got stuck at all, I know this is kind of late to say this, but if you got stuck at all in the process, feel free to rewatch this, hit the pause button, take that action on your end. But I think this is super easy. If you've played around with landing pages in the past, and we've had those for over a year now, I'm confident that you can pick up on these email campaigns quite easily. There's a lot of creativity, a lot of cool things to do in here. I'm looking forward to creating my own weekly newsletter I'm going to send out to my market centers. If you want on that distribution list too, if you want to see what I'm sending out there, feel free to send me a private message on text. Look me up through Kelly and send it to me. I was going to say put it in the comment section, but YouTube's a public place. We don't want to do that. Yeah, thank y'all for watching. Hopefully you find this enjoyable. And I'd be curious to see your newsletter. So if you can, send me a couple previews. I'd love to see your tests. And as always, if you have questions, just open up your smartphone, open up Kelly, ask her to find Sam Jackson, and reach out to me anytime. Appreciate y'all. And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit like and subscribe. Get more updates when we do some more new videos regarding command and technology. Thanks for watching. See y'all.